Good morning, everyone. This is Assistant Professor Saurabh Sharma from Chandigarh Polytechnic College, Bhurma, and I will be teaching the RCD subject to the fifth semester students in this year. So I hope all of the students will understand this subject in a wonderful way because I'm going to make this subject so much easy so that they can learn it effortlessly. So in the further upcoming slides, I would be telling about the 25 to 30% syllabus that we are going to cover in this subject. Okay, so now you must be seeing on my slides. Okay, students. So first of all, I would like to tell you about what is RCD. So the RCD simply means the reinforcement concrete design structures. What is reinforcement? Simply, we can say it, the steel. The steel is known as the reinforcement. And what is concrete? The mixture of cement, sand, aggregate, and water that is known as the concrete. So when we combined concrete plus reinforcement, it makes reinforcement concrete structures. So in this subject, we are going to deal with the components, the design of the various components which are used in the structures. Like if we are going to construct a building, then we have to cover the various design components like the design of beam, design of column, design of slab, design of footing. Okay, so after covering all the design, then we move to the higher level. So here we can see in this picture, you must be seeing that there's a slide in which the reinforcement is there. The reinforcement is here and the shuttering after, this is the construction of a building. Okay. So after installing the reinforcement, this is the column basically. And after installing the shuttering and all these components of the building, then the construction work is started. So what are the various methods we will be dealing in this subject? That is the working stress method, limit state method, the design of singly reinforced beam, doubly reinforced beam, and the design of one-way slab, two-way slab, design of axial loaded column, and their isolated footings. The all of these things we would be covering in this subject. Okay. Okay, so now as per your syllabus that is also given on the board website, that is Punjab State Technical Board of Education, PSBT, Punjab State Board of Technical Education. This whole syllabus is also given on your site, but here in the slides, I would be telling you all the syllabus one by one, and this is almost the 25 to 30% syllabus that I have covered in these slides. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about why we need to study this subject. What is the importance of this subject? Got it? See, if we look at this subject, uh, being a civil engineer, you need to design all the buildings, and without design, you cannot design. Without design knowledge, you cannot move to the site, and you cannot even hold a drawing. If you are not having the knowledge of the base, then you cannot understand the knowledge of how to construct a building on the site. Because ultimately, after completing your diploma, you are going to be the civil engineer, a diploma holder. And on the site, you need to know how you deal with the design procedures. If you know, then easily you can look at the minor error. Even if I'm not talking about the major errors, even you can even notice the minor errors if you know about the design procedure and all these things very well in a wonderful way. So, okay, the one more thing that I would like to add in this reinforcement concrete design subject, we would also be studying about the IS 456 2000 codes. So what is this? This is basically a booklet which is very much required in this subject to cover the all design. What do you need to cover in this subject? You have to cover the design components. What are the basic design components? Like the beam, the slab, the column, the footing. These four are the basic components by which a building is made. Okay. If you look at any building nowadays, this is a framed structure. What is framed structure? Like the structure of the beam and the column and the slabs. Okay. Then the brick layer. Then the wall of the brick is laid later on. Firstly, there is the frame structure is prepared by the beams and the column and the slabs. and then the wall or brick wall is constructed over there. So okay, so this IS 456 2000 is a code booklet in which the design methods, the design procedure, the various formulas have been given, which will help you to move further, okay, which will help you a lot. What you need to know about this code booklet, you just need to read it step by step. When we will be dealing with your subject, you just need to read it step by step. For example, if you are covering the beam topic, then I will ask you to go to the beam topic in this particular code IS 456 2000 as written over there. Okay, so one more thing that I would like to add, this IS 456 2000 code, this is allowed in the examination. You can use this code booklet in the examination because there are a lot of formulas. The formulas are so much of big length. Okay, so you cannot cram all these formulas. So but you have to understand this code in a well manner so that easily you can move to the subject. Okay, but if you do not understand this code, then there will be no use of studying this subject. I'm telling you again, you have to focus. The major focus in this subject should be on the IS 456 2000 code, because all the design in India are made only by this code booklet, that is IS 456 2000 code booklet. Without this code booklet, this is impossible to cover this subject. So I hope all of you would buy a code booklet, or either you can download a code booklet IS 456 2000 from Google itself, or in the upcoming lecture and the videos, I will be also sharing the code booklet, a PDF of the code booklet, or I will download from myself and send it to you people in your WhatsApp group, or I will share with the email IDs to all of you students. And for your own comfort, you can make a hard copy of this code booklet, or otherwise you can use the soft copy as well, the time when we are having the online classes up to up to that period. Okay, so what is the introduction? As I already told you, what is the concept of the RCC? The concept of the reinforcement cement concrete is to let you to know about the various components, their design, and the material that basically we are dealing with. What is the material that we are dealing in the buildings? In a very simple way, if you see, the building is made of the beam, column, and slabs, and the footings. Okay, these four things are required. And what sort of the material you are using in those all these components? That is the reinforcement in the concrete only. Okay, so the major focus on this subject should be on, that is, concrete and steel. If you know how you can make good quality concrete, good quality steel, and how you can have a proper cutting, that is known as the curtailment of the bars, and how you can extend the length of the bar, how you can tie the bars, and how you can uh, put the concrete in a manner so that it does not make cracks in the building in the future. Okay, so all these sort of things you need to know in this subject, so that this will make you to go in a easy way in the further lectures. So what are the various reinforcement materials? Suitability of steel as reinforcing materials, properties of mild steel and HYST steel. Okay, see, what are the reinforcing materials? The materials, that is the mild steel and the HYST bar. So first of all, moving further, I would like to tell you about what is steel. The steel is simply an alloy of the iron and the carbon. What is the iron? If the amount of the iron is more in the steel, that will provide the high tensile strength to this steel. If the amount of carbon is more, that will provide the high compressive strength to the steel. So in steel, there is a both high compressive strength and the high tensile strength. But if we look at the concrete, in concrete, or there is only high compressive strength. The tensile strength is negligible. It's almost zero in the concrete. But in case of steel, there is a high tensile strength as well as high compressive strength. The more the amount of the carbon, suppose that. Now moving further, I would like to tell that we have the Fe250. The Fe250, that is known as the mild steel bar. Like here you can see, okay, the mild steel bar Fe250, that is known as. So Fe250 is a mild steel bar, and the Fe415, Fe550, and Fe600, and all these are the types of the HYST bar. What are the HYST bar? Sorry. HYSD bars are the high yield strength deformed bar which are used for making the steel more stronger. See, you must be having a pen in your hand. You are watching at the grip of the pen. That is a rib-like structure over there. Similarly, nowadays the grip-like this grip-like structure that the ribs are made on the steel bars. That is known as the TMT steel bar, thermally and mechanically treated bars, or or you can say uh, the HYST bar, high yield strength deformed bar. So this is the type of the bar that is used nowadays. Okay. So first off, you must have seen in the previous the construction time, the buildings were made up of the mild steel bars. But what used to happen in case of the mild steel bars when the mild steel bars are usually the plain bars. When you are mixing the plain bars with the concrete, then simply it gets slip over there. Okay, but nowadays you are using the high HYST bar when you mix like this. This has been made a grip like this over here. So when we are using the HYST bar, this makes the grip with the concrete and it cannot be easily come out of the concrete. Okay, so therefore we use the HYST bar nowadays as compared to the mild steel bar. So in the HYS, the Fe250 is the mild steel bar that is also known as the grade of the steel, and Fe250 is known as the grade of steel. Okay, for your better understanding, I would like to tell you the Fe is a sign of iron or steel, and the Fe250 is the strength in Newton per mm square. The one of the most important thing that you need to know, that is the units. If you don't know about the units in this subject, then you cannot move on further in this subject, because the units are the base. I hope in the strength of material subject you all have must be studied about the units. You got my point. So the units are like the shear units are like the Newton, kilonewton, Newton per meter. There are various types of units like the SI units, the CGS units, and the FPS units. In SI units, we have this okay, the standard international units, that is the Newton per mm square, like that. And in the further units like in the further units like the series, we have the centigram seconds, and in the further units, and that is FPS, we have the foot pound seconds units. Okay, so all these sort of things you need to know before starting this subject. Okay, these are the units. So one more thing that I would like to tell you, after covering the units and after covering the materials, I was telling you about the materials, like I was telling you about the materials like this grade of the steel, that is Fe250, Fe, that was a mild steel. And if I move further, I would talk about the Fe415, Fe 500, Fe 500, sorry, Fe 500, Fe 550, and Fe 600 is also being used nowadays. So these we have only 4 grades. See, Fe250, Fe 415, Fe 500, Fe 550, and nowadays one more is added, that is fifth one, that is Fe 600. These 5 grades are available for the steel only these 5 grades. And rest, if I talk about the grade of the concrete, then according to, I am telling you all these things as per the IS 456 2000 code booklet only. That is the grade of the concrete is the starting from the M5 to the M80 as per your IS 456 2000 code. Okay, so that is also written over there, that is IS 456 2000 code booklet. So what is M over here? M means the mix, the number means the same. Strength, that means that you get after putting the load, that is the stress is equal to the load upon area, that you also have studied in this term. So when you put the load and that divided by the area, the specified area of the that particular thing, the load upon area, that brings you to the required strength of the concrete. Okay, so now moving to the further, this slide that has been shown on your screen, that is the shear and development length. So what is first of all, I would like to tell you about the working stress method and the limit state method that we are going to cover in this subject. So what is the working stress method? Now, there was a time when the buildings were designed as per the working stress method. This was in 1985, code IS 456 1985, I think. So in that area, in that time, this code was being used. The 1985, the working stress method code was being used. But nowadays we are using the IS 456 2000, that is the limit state method code. So what is the importance of using this limit state method code? Why we are using this limit state method code? Because you must have seen there is a limit of anything, whether I am having, you are having a pen in your hand, you are having the table, bench, chair, or anything you are having, or surrounding yourself, it has a limit. After that limit, it has to break up. Even you yourself, after your time period finished, you have to go. Okay, similarly, there is a limit of everything. Even if you are constructed a building, then there is a limit. After fulfilling that limit, it has to go down. So we need to see that how we are covering the limit state method in this subject. Okay, how we deal with the various design procedures in the limit set method. There will be various calculations, there will be various formulas that we will be dealing as per the IS 456 2000 code. Okay, so here now I will talk about the shear and development length. So what is the shear and the development length? See, shear, what is the shear force? The shear force is simply the transverse force that acts on the particular object. And what is the development length? The development length is the length of the steel bar which is provided to increase the length of the bar so that it can sustain the suitable load on the structure. Got it? So these are the things that you need to know in the shear enforcement. So what is the maximum shear stress and the shear enforcement? So already I have told you about the concept of limit state method. The limit state method is very important to know before moving further. Okay. So what is limit? Limit, everything has a limit. After that, it has to break down. So this is the limit state method. So see, if I talk about the definitions and the assumptions which have been made in the limit state of collapse. So what is the limit state of collapse flexure? So as this is also has been done by the code booklet itself. You don't need to cram anything in this subject. This is the major advantage of this subject, that you don't need to cram. If you know how to follow the code booklet, then easily you can apply all those code booklet things in this your examination. And after applying those things in your examination easily, in a effortlessly, you can cover all these things. So there are the various things like the partial factor of safety for materials, for loads. See, what is the most important thing that I would like to tell you? That is the partial safety factor. What is the partial safety factor? This is this safety factor has been introduced by the Indian engineers, innovative engineers. This, as per them, the 1.5, there is a value that you have to multiply with the every load. Okay, suppose that there is 200 kilonewton load is being given to you. If you want to design that particular building with the 200 kilonewton load, suppose that I have this mobile phone. Okay, if the load is coming, like the 200 kilonewton load is coming over here, so you have to design this mobile. So this, sorry, not mobile, this, suppose that this is a beam. So you have to design this structure as per 200 kilonewton. Okay, so you have to multiply 200 with the 1.5. So it will increase the value of the 200. That means increasing the value will give the more strength, okay, to this particular structure. When we are designing this beam with the 200 kilonewton, then we previously we will multiply it with the 1.5 value. That will increase the strength of the particular structure, particular beam. Then easily we can understand it will increase the strength and durability of the particular structure, whether it's a beam, whether it's a column, or whether it's a slab. Okay. So all these are the, what are the design loads? The design loads are the values of the, like the wind load, the total load, the the dead load, the wind load, the rolling load. All these type of the loads are the sort of design loads. What is the dead load? The load which is known as the self weight of any structure, that is known as the dead load. So what is the live load? The load which is coming live as moving load. You can, live load can also be a bench, a chair on which you are sitting. Okay, that may be live load. And what is the rolling load? Usually in case of the bridges, there is a live load, like the car wheels are rotating, the bus or truck wheels are rotating. So all these are the sort of the live loads that you need to cover in this subject. So what are the stress block and the parameters? Okay, so one more thing I would like to tell you. ultimately we are going to discuss about the beams and the columns in this subject. So what is the beam and the column? Okay, so I hope you must be knowing about the beam and column. What is beam? I think all of you will be saying about that. If suppose that this is a beam, the horizontal part is known as the beam and the vertical part is known as the column. Is it like that? No, you're wrong over here. See, the horizontal part doesn't mean that beam and the vertical part doesn't mean that column. You need to understand. It depends on the load, how it gets the load. After that, you decide it's a beam or it's a column. See, if there are two types of the axis. One is the longitudinal axis that comes along the length, and one is the lateral axis that comes along the width of the this component. Sorry, I'm sorry. If the load is coming along the length of this component, if the load is coming along the length of this, suppose that this is load. If the load is coming along the length of this component, that means it is known as the longitudinal, so sorry, it is known as the beam. And similarly, if the load is coming along this parallel to the longitudinal axis, if load is coming parallel to the longitudinal axis, that means it is a column. So it depends how the load is coming along the lateral axis or the longitudinal axis. If the load is coming along longitudinal axis, perpendicular to the, suppose this is a perpendicular axis, longitudinal axis. If the load is coming perpendicular to it, it is known as a beam. If I rotate it like this and the load is coming parallel to the longitudinal axis, then it is known as a column. Okay, so this is like that. You need to understand about the beam and the column, because if you don't know how to define the beam and column, then I don't think so. There is a difference between, because if you go on the side after being a civil engineer, there would be simply, if you ask a mason, he will tell you about, sir, this is a beam and this is a column. But no, you need to understand the technical definition of this beam and the column. After that, you can move on further. Okay, so I hope the most of the thing, the introduction part has been covered. The shear force, the development length has been covered out. The working stress method has been covered out. The limit set method has been covered out. And the various, what is the reinforcement, what is the concrete, what are the various types of the grade of the concrete, why we use like M15, M20. What is M? M means the mixture of cement, concrete. Okay, cement, sand, aggregate, and water. And what is the number? Number is the strength. Like M15, 15 is the strength. That is 15 Newton per mm square, and M for the mix. So these all things are have been. I hope you must have cleared all these things. So if you get any doubt, you can ask me anytime. I'll be sharing some of my details with you. So one more thing, like in the beam, what we will be covering, the this portion was left like. In beam, we will be studying about the singly reinforced beam, the doubly reinforced beam, the behavior of the T-beams, inverted T-beam, isolated T-beam, and the L-beams. Okay, so what is the singly reinforced beam? So here, I will be just telling you the definition. Okay, the later on I will tell you about the whole, because we have to cover the design of the singly reinforced beam, the doubly reinforced beam. After that, we will let it understand in a well manner. So what is the singly reinforced beam? The singly reinforced beam are the structures when the load is come there. See, if this is a beam, see, if this is a beam, there are two types of the axis, the types of the longitudinal axis and the lateral axis. Longitudinal lengthwise, lateral axis that is widthwise. And one more thing, it passes from the center. Longitudinal axis, lateral axis, and this is the this is the center. Okay, so what is the singly reinforced beam? When the load is coming on the, there are the two types of the portions in a beam. In any sort of the beam, there are two types of the portion: the compressive portion and the tensile portion. Okay, and you have to put the reinforcement in the beam. Okay, but you need to put, see, if I am going to design a beam, then I need to put the reinforcement. I need to put reinforcement. I need to put the concrete in that particular beam. After that, I will design that. Okay. So there are the various things and the method. We will cover that with the limit set method, that is IS 456-2000. We have the lack of the time, but surely we will be covering all these methods and the things in well manner in the upcoming lectures, in the videos. There are two types of the beam: the singly reinforced beam and the doubly reinforced beams. These are the types of the beam, and we also have the behavior of the T beams, inverted T beams. Got it? So these are the types of the slabs and the column. What is one-way slab and the two-way slab? Okay, so this is the thing that we need to cover in this all subject. What is slab? As you simply know, the roof slab, that is slab. But we have the two types of the slab, that is one-way slab and the two-way slab. After that, we need to know about the things like the one-way slab and the two-way slab and the auxiliary. What is the column? As I already told you about the beam, the column, the slab, their basic definitions, how you define the beam, how you define the column, how you define the slab. I hope this basic introduction almost have been covered out in this 25 to 30% syllabus. So this is the syllabus that is given over here. You can also take the copy from the board website as well, and I will also send you the copy of the syllabus in your group, in the WhatsApp group, and I will also text you by the mail. So in case in the future you get any doubt, any problem, you can ask me anytime. I hope this has this introduction of this subject has been made so easy to you, so that it will be so easy to understand this subject in a well manner in the upcoming lectures and in the upcoming videos. So these are the things like the pre-stressed concrete. See, the one more thing I would like to tell you, there are two types of the structures. First is the in situ and the second is the industrial made structures. The in situ means the structures, the components like beam, slab, column, which are constructed on the field, on the site, that is known as the in situ structure. And what is the pre-stressed concrete? The structures which are constructed in the industry, in the factory, and later on they are bring to the site and installed directly on the site, that is known as the pre-stressed. And one more thing, the pre-stressed structures are more stronger and durable than the in situ structures, because the all tests have been performed in a well manner on that structure. Okay, therefore the pre-stressed structures are more stronger. I hope a better understanding must have attained to all of you students. So here in the last we have a reference and the recommended books. So what you will see over here, the books that I will suggest you, that you can refer on the 4th number, that is the Brinder Singh RCC design and drawing book. This is one of the good book, I will say you, as per your diploma, and all the things are given in a easy way in this book. So I will suggest you can refer this book, and you can enjoy your study, and I hope all of you will take care of yourself and your family. Stay healthy, be happy. Thank you so much.